Good afternoon, everybody. How are we feeling today? Good? Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to introduce our panelist or our guest today. And then we are going to have a phenomenal conversation about what beauty founders and their journey has been about. But first and foremost, welcome to eBridge. Whoever is here for the first time, let me talk to you a little bit about what the building represents and why we are doing what we're doing this week. So first and foremost, my name is Linda Uffland. I am the Director of Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Commercialization for the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, UTRGV. So we oversee this part of this building and this space, but eBridge represents a partnership. eBridge is a partnership between a community improvement corporation, or the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, which is a Type B economic development corporations, and the university. And what do? We meet at the intersection of quality of life and business. So together we create a partnership that really complements each other in supporting our entrepreneurs and supporting the quality of life of the people and the community in Brownsville and beyond. And this is what we do. We provide you with the resources, with the support, with anything that you need to be able to be successful in your business. So this week, the university and we are part of the Global Entrepreneurship Network, which is a national organization in the United States, and they are celebrating, is that the same noise? We are celebrating Global Entrepreneurship Week. So every day this week, we have an event. So we invite you to come to all the events that we have all week. Today, we start with the Insights Unplugged series, but we're continuing to have all the events. So that's who we are. I do want to do a shout out to the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation for their partnership and continued support that they give us. So guys from BCIC, raise your hands. Thank you for everything that you do. I invite you to connect with our BCIC partners. They have a lot of resources for you as entrepreneurs and small businesses, but also connect with us. ECC team, can you raise your hands? This is our team. We run the incubator here. We have a business incubator here. We run all the programs, and we invite you to be part of it. Anyway, so again, thank you for being here, and we're going to get started. I'm going to introduce our panelists, and they're going to come here and sit with us, and we're going to have a conversation about their journey, and conversation about their experiences, some of their challenges, and what makes them so successful today. So first and foremost, I want to invite to come and have a seat here with me, Jennifer Madai Lopez. So Jennifer is a 29-year-old entrepreneur and the owner of 4 businesses in Brownsville: Luxury Beauty Suites, DLUX Working Spaces, Royal Atelier. Yes. Okay, I said it right. And her first venture, Glam Specialist. Her journey began in a small room, building everything on her own with no shortcuts and learning the process day by day. Today, she uses that experience to empower and uplift other aspiring beauty professionals, helping them take the first steps she once feared by offering spaces, guidance, and a supportive environment to begin their own entrepreneurial journey. Welcome, Jennifer, so much. You can have a seat. Next, I want to invite up here to sit with us Sheyla Saldaña. Yay! Sheyla is the founder of MÜSE House of Beauty in Brownsville. Becoming a hairstylist has been her dream since childhood, and she created MÜSE. Is that how you say it? MÜSE? MÜSE. To be a space where women feel confident, inspired, and truly beautiful. Sheyla is passionate about empowering other women in the beauty industry and building a community rooted in creativity, collaboration, and growth. Welcome, Sheyla. Okay, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna kind of build, some questions for them, but I'm going to allow them to also share their own experiences. And if they have any insights, please, ladies, by all means, take it away, after that. So I'm gonna start first with Jennifer, and I'm gonna, if you can first what inspired you to start your career in makeup artistry? Was there a moment when you realized beauty could become your full-time business? If you want to grab the mic.
Hello.
Does that work?
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
There you go.
Okay. So I started in this industry very, very young. I was living here in Brownsville, and my parents got a divorce, life. So then we moved to Edinburgh, and I feel like in Brownsville everyone's really good with like their personal makeup. Yes. Everyone in Brownsville is really good at like knowing a little bit about makeup and all that stuff. And whenever I moved to Edinburgh's a little bit more like in the countryside. Everyone has like their land and all that stuff. So I'm like a first time going in there, and then they're like, "Oh my God, your makeup is so pretty." Like, and I'll be like, "Oh, thank you." So going on within my personal life, right, with my parents and stuff, I always felt like makeup was just my getaway. And so I was with the track team girls, and they were like, "Oh my God, you should do our makeup for homecoming, prom, graduation." And I was just like, yes, 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 like telling everybody yes, like I was a professional, I wasn't. And I always say I feel that it was a calling of mine. Like I never thought of, oh, this is going to be my career for the rest of my life, or this is something that I want to do in my life. Like it just kind of like guided me into there. So that's how I started the whole JM Glam Specialist, and like getting to be known and doing lives. And it was honestly my getaway. Like it was my time to not think. It was my time to just be like, you know what, I like doing this. It's getting my mind off of things, and everything just went on from there.
That's a very pretty interesting story. Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. So Sheyla, how did your career in the beauty industry begin? And what pushed you to take the leap from stylist to business owner?
Hola, buenos días. Primero que nada, gracias a todos por estar aquí. Mi nombre es Sheyla y yo soy dueña de MÜSE House of Beauty. Y la verdad, no les voy a mentir, el principio de la carrera fue un poquito difícil. Es difícil que alguien confíe en ti cuando vas saliendo de la escuela de cosmetología, cuando no tienes experiencia. Y pues la verdad tienes que todos los días perseguir tu sueño y saber que al principio no va a ser fácil, pero que va a valer la pena, y seguir insistiendo. La verdad, eso es la cosa, seguir insistiendo para salir de lo promedio. Y lo que me impulsó a abrir MÜSE fue que, yo rentaba en un lugar que se llama Beautify, que me ayudó tanto a crecer, pero ahí en Beautify yo tenía un equipo. O sea, yo no solo rentaba para mí, rentaba también para otras 2 estilistas. Y el momento en el que yo vi que, además de yo tener una agenda llena, mis chicas también tenían una agenda llena, dije, ya es momento de irnos, es momento de crecer más que nada por mi equipo, porque ya ellas también ya habían crecido. Y ya.
Give me a second.
Okay, you give us a second. We're trying to like...
Pausa comercial. Commercial break. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Creo que vas a seguir.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Oh, there we go. Oh, never mind. Okay. So a lot of you can hear us anyway, so we're going to do our best. So thank you, ladies, for sharing that. I'm going to go off script because I'm not the type that really goes into the script situation. I like to kind of just organically ask questions. So let's start from the beginning. I know you talked a little bit about what inspired you to start your business, or from basically your beginnings into now. But how's that journey it's been for both of you? What have you encountered throughout this that has been significant highlighting for you? What are some of those moments that you said, oh my God, this is happening? So we'll start with Jennifer.
I think I'm a person that doesn't really think much. Like I don't really sit there and I'm like, oh my God, let me see what I've done, or let me see, like a lot of people come and talk to me and they're like, oh my God, like I see your videos or this and that, and I'm like, oh, okay, like thank you. I don't really think outside the box much. I'm just kind of like focused and centered into like where I'm trying to get to, where that's really tough for me to do. And sometimes we need to pat ourselves in the back and just be like, you know what, like, oh my God, I have done this. Oh my God, it's been so many years. For me, it's already been 15, 16 years where I'm just like, wow, like it's been a hell of a ride. But as far as right now, I just feel like, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie, Yes Man, where he just goes throughout his life and they're like, oh, I offer you this, yes, oh, here, take this, yes. And like, I feel like that's been my life throughout this whole journey of mine, where I feel like if anything could be inspiring, would be more like take that opportunity that's being offered to you, or take that tool where like if your mind tells you it's time to do something, just do it. You know, take that, how Sheyla said, that jump, you know, that you're like, oh, you know what, I'm seeing this, like let's just do this, like don't think about it so much. But at the end of the day, like I feel like only we know whenever we're ready to make those jumps. Like only we know, and people could come and tell us things, but we're so hard with ourselves that until you feel it in you, it's whenever like you'll like have the courage to just go in.
Nice. How about you?
What was the question again? Estaba muy entrada escuchando a Jennifer.
Sí. Básicamente, o sea, ya nos explicas un poco de cómo empezaste, pero cómo ha sido esa trayectoria para ti en lo personal. Okay. O sea, ¿qué ha sido, o sea, cuál ha sido ese momento, o ha habido un momento en esta trayectoria que has tenido que dices tú, o sea, ya estoy en esto? O sea, ya pasó. Te voy a decir muy específicamente en qué momento, y creo que aquí hay muchos testigos. Hace un mes yo estaba aquí y lloré en pleno 1 Million Cups. Me entró el sentimiento porque yo estoy dando la presentación y haz de cuenta que la primer pantalla era de que un timeline. Y entonces yo me estoy presentando, hola, soy Sheyla, MØSE House of Beauty, y volteo a mi presentación y veo lo primero, que dice Childhood Dream. Entonces ahí es donde me cae todo el 20 de que, wow, I made it. O sea, una cosa es saberlo y otra cosa es como que abrir los ojos y darte cuenta de que, wow. También otro que fue como un mes antes, fui a la escuela de cosmetología donde yo estudié y estoy parada dando un speech, presentando a MÜSE, presentando a mí para dar oportunidades. Es un job fair. Y también ahí como que me doy cuenta de que, wow, hace varios años era al revés. O sea, yo estaba sentada, viendo, inspirándome, yo estaba buscando oportunidades de trabajo. Y ahora yo estoy aquí ofreciendo eso a las estudiantes. Y todo pasó como en el transcurso de 2 semanas después de 1 Million Cups. Entonces, en esos 2 momentos, yo creo que fue de verdad darle gracias a Dios y darme cuenta de que todo ha valido la pena. Pues me orgullece decir que, pues qué padre que en 1 Million Cups te diste cuenta, porque la verdad el propósito de ese programa es inspirar a otros, pero al mismo tiempo darte cuenta de lo importante que es el trabajo que ustedes están haciendo, or the work that you've been doing. I'm sorry, I started talking Spanish. The work that you both have been doing to move that needle forward in our community. So, as you support others and as you start your businesses, how do you manage doing the work yourself and managing the business? So we know that you guys have, now teams or staff that support your businesses, but how do you, because you still do, makeups, you still might do, hairstylists, you might still do the services yourself. So how do you manage not losing in engaging with your customers and managing the business? What does that balance look like for you, ladies?
That one is tough. I feel like I learned that one the hard way 2 years ago. And sometimes, we think that everyone comes into your life with an open heart just because we are willing to offer and give and show and just with an open heart, And I feel like that one was really tough. And barely 2 years ago is when I was like, oh my God, like I'm going nuts. I need to balance out my life within, renting out the suites and people coming up to me like, hey, how do I do this? Can you help me out with the social media? Can you help me out with like, promoting and trying to network with other people? Like, and I'm like, yes. And then with clients, like clients sit in your chair and they're telling you your personal life. and it's like you're a counselor in a way, but at the same time you can't give that much advice, so you just have to listen and then keep it with you, because if you go and say those things, you could get yourself in trouble too. So it's very, very hard, where like, yes, sometimes they try to build a friendship, but us as, you know, business owners, we need to keep a limit and keep a line where, you know what, yes, you could tell me so much and I could accept so much, but you need to draw that line. I barely learned this, and we're talking about all these years that I've been in this. It's been very, very hard, and it's a tough one. It's very, very tough to have that, because, you know, like, clients could also leave your chair, and out there, like, I see a lot of my clients that I'm in their close friends on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my God, like, that was very heartwarming. You know, that one conversation that you had with them, and it's, oh, that's a tough one. That really is.
How about you, Sheila?
De verdad que yo creo que eso de verdad es lo más difícil, y yo lo sigo aprendiendo cada semana. Por ejemplo, el viernes tenía agenda llena de clientas, no me acuerdo si fue viernes o sábado, tenía agenda llena de clientas, todas las chavas que rentan estaban ahí, y tenía mucha gente entrando al salón, que de verdad yo me fui a encerrar al break room y yo de que, relax, está bien, no, está bien, o sea, no pasa nada, pero sí es muy difícil aprender a balancear entre, como dice Jen, de que social media, apoyar a las chavas que te rentan, apoyar a tu equipo, y más aparte, asegurarte de dar un servicio al cliente excelente y que lo que estás haciendo te salga bien, o sea, y más aparte en casa que te están hablando que la niña y que o sea, sí es difícil, y yo creo que sí es algo que sigo aprendiendo a balancearlo, pero sí tenemos que, porque si no nos volvemos locas, de verdad.
Pues yo creo que es el tema de poder balancear la vida personal con la vida profesional.
Sí, definitivo.
So, some of us, you know, have families. I always tell people that talk to me, goes, how do you do it, Linda? And I said, well, I mean, I try to balance my work life with my daughter's life. And somewhere out there's a husband. Don't see him very much, but I know he exists. He's out there, and we say hi once in a while, like, hey, hi, guys. And I see him, you know, at night. That's about it. So it happens, but I think having a good support system is always very
definitely,
important
definitely.
to you and
Sí,
to
no
us
pudiera.
to be able to manage this lifestyle that it's not an easy lifestyle, even for you guys, especially for you guys that, you know, want to engage with that customer and not being able to do it as much as you did when you first started, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. So as you develop this, you know, great businesses, and you have these spaces where you share your knowledge and share your experience and your space with other entrepreneurs or beauty entrepreneurs, how do you select who comes into your space? How important is that to you? And is there like a criteria that each one of you has to either staff somebody in your team or rent a space to them? Is there a fit? Is there something that you look into, these ladies or gentlemen that are trying to get into this beauty space that you want to have in your own business space? So I guess we can start with you, Sheyla.
Yo la verdad me gusta conocerlos primero como persona, o sea, me gustaría tomarme un cafecito con la persona, platicar, ven a trabajar un día conmigo, quiero ver cómo eres, conocerte, no te voy a mentir, también los investigo un poquito, amigos en común y así de que, ¿qué onda con esta persona? Porque tampoco no quieres meter a una persona que nada más te viene a causar problemas, y no digo quitar clientes ni nada de eso, no va por ahí, sino por el hecho de que si te va a drenar o va a venir a afectar tu negocio, pues obviamente no los vas a querer ahí. Y por más bien que te caigan, o sea, a veces podemos ser bien buena onda y todo, pero como trabajo, como personas profesionales, podemos ser otra cosa completamente diferente. Entonces, sí.
I think it's very different whenever it comes to you, because they're working in your salon, you know, and then for me, it's like they are ready to build their own business. So for me, it's more like I see the ambition in their eyes, and I'm like, you know what, yeah, the doors are open, why not, you know? But we've also learned throughout the time what it is that we want whenever we show up into the suites. Majority of the people had a different concept of like, oh, it's an open space, kind of like chair rental and stuff like that, and it's not. Everyone's in charge of their own schedules, everyone gets their own clients, everyone networks, so it was very hard to kind of like adjust to this is different, you know, like in the beginning I had girls that would like have their doors open and they were just walking and they had a client, and it was like a huge issue in the beginning, but I feel like throughout the time I myself have learned how to introduce the place, how to talk about the place, because it could be a little overwhelming in the beginning. Like, they expect for everyone to be friends, which it's also okay not to be friends, you know? But at the end of the day, it's more like everyone has the same goal. Everyone's trying to get somewhere in life. Everyone went there looking for a place, you know, to reach something. And I always tell everyone, my goal is not for everyone to stay here. Like, I want everyone to, like, learn how to be a business owner, how to be accounting your own money and, like, all that type of stuff. And then, like, make that jump, you know, like, get out of here. Like, it's not like, oh, be here for 5-6 years. My contracts are 6 months to 1 year. Like, it's optional. We could also do month to month, you know, like, try it out, like, give it a try, and then give yourself that boost and, like, step out. But right now, the way that I introduce the place more than anything is, this is your dream. This is your mindset. You are in charge of what you are about to do. Everybody else, if you want to network, go ahead and do so. But it's more, I accept anyone. I accept anyone in. Like, at the end of the day, everyone minds their own business. That's more what I say, you know. It's different businesses. Everybody minds their own business. And we're here to help each other out. We all have the same goals. We're not here to cause anything else. And that's that.
Have you ever had somebody that is not a fit, even in that sense of you supporting them in starting their own, I guess, business or venture, or just, you know, basically services? What have been your experience with both of you, and same thing as renting a chair or a space, you know, or bringing somebody in your staff? Have you managed that relationship to where, okay, this is great, you have ambition, but this is happening? So have you had situations where you had to kind of manage conflict? And I think all of us in our own spaces, in our line of works, in our businesses, we have to sometimes deal with that personality, or, you know, certain ways that are not, they don't fit even in the model that you have, Jennifer.
Yes,
so can you talk a little bit about that?
I have twice, but I feel like it's very important to be mentally stable, mentally prepared. I personally had the practice because I used to have 6 employees. So you learn how to have communication with, because everyone has a different personality. Everyone's mindset is very different. You could think that you're saying something in a professional way, and they take it like, oh my gosh, it was so rude to me, just because you're trying to have a mellow conversation and not like a, oh my God, I'm so hyper and happy, like, oh my God, you know what, this is not working out. Like, no, you have to literally keep yourself grounded and just be like, you know what, like, this is what's going on. I'd appreciate it if we change something, you know. But I've never personally gotten anybody out of the place. I feel like themselves, they'll feel a little bit discomfort, and then they'll make that decision themselves. But it's very important to be okay here. Yes.
Yo también la he tenido, pero honestamente yo creo que, y hablo por mí, por Jen, yo creo que somos gente como que muy ocupada. O sea, venimos a trabajar, no venimos a dramas, no venimos a platicar, no venimos a, ay, me veo mal, me veo bien. Y la verdad es que cuando está ese tipo de personas, como el frijolito en el arroz, solitos se van porque no hay tiempo para eso. No hay tiempo para eso. Y solo una vez sí tuve que decirle a alguien de que bye, pero de verdad, no sé. Solitos se van, en realidad.
Mantener la hermandad lo más que se pueda, y como dices tú, a veces no es necesario tú hacer nada, sino si no hay un fit, esa persona últimamente va a tomar una decisión de...
Sí, porque venimos a trabajar, venimos a hacer dinero, a fin de cuentas, no venimos a andar con dramas, o sea, sí.
Pues creo que, I think it's very important that, you know, as you see these beautiful young ladies, you know, talking about their businesses, and in terms of beauty or beauty founders, it takes it to another level, just because it's also about aesthetics, it's also about experiences, it's also about customer service. So what advice, if we were to have some founders here, or potential customers or beauty founders, what advice would you give someone trying to build a client base for their services? They might not be ready for that business, like, you know, you ladies have, again, you know, created this sort of this beauty, starting to create these beauty empires, you know. So how do you, or what would be your advice to somebody that is trying to build, at least for now, a client base? What are some of those recommendations or insights that you might have for them?
I believe in the fake it till you make it. I am more of a, like how I mentioned in the beginning, it was my getaway. So for me, it was always like, be the person that you wish you were throughout your life. So for me in the beginning, it was always smiles and laughings and, oh, hi, welcome, you know, because that's the person that I wanted to be in my life instead of being the sad person in the beginning. And like, you know, it was my getaway. So I would say fake it till you make it. Like fake it until you're actually happy, until you actually reach everything that you've set for yourself and you're like, oh my God, like I'm finally here. Like this is what I wanted, and now the smiles is all natural, the welcoming is all natural, you know, like instead of having to constantly fight yourself over the thought of like, oh my God, I could have done this better. Like, no, you're already into the persona that you want to be.
Pues parecido al fake it till you make it, yo siempre le digo a las chavas que van empezando conmigo de que créetela que tú eres la estilista que quieres ser, no le tengas miedo al éxito. Y hay veces que a lo mejor no vas a saber lo que estás haciendo, pero tú haz como que sí, tú sabes, o sea, ya después vamos a ver cómo lo corregimos, cómo arreglamos, pero tú inténtalo, o sea, no le tengas miedo a hacerlo. Hazlo, si te sale mal, ya corriges después, pero créetelo, porque si tú no te la crees, nadie más se la va a creer por ti.
I totally agree with that. Fake it till you make it. Sometimes we tend to do a lot of trainings and entrepreneurial development in our world. And I think the best way to learn is just go for it. You know, just throw themselves into the mix. And as you go, you correct, you learned, and you accept, you know, and adapt. But I think it's you know, for any founder, I think out there is the idea that you cannot just think about it and plan forever. You got to take action at one point. And I think that's what both of you did, you know, as you continue to be, you know, to continue to build a clientele by doing the things that you do best, but also providing that little essence that, or like difference that makes you unique to each business that you guys have. So with that in mind, as we take it to the customer experience, as we take this conversation to what do you want your client to feel when they come through your door, or when they, you know, touch base with you in terms of support or just clients? How do you both take it to that level of, I want my customer to get out of here feeling this? So
Being in the beauty industry, I think your main goal is making your client feel beautiful. Like, just, you know, everyone has a story to tell. They all sit down and they're like, oh my God, I was having a bad day, or I was rushing over here, and oh my God, on my way over here, this happened, or yesterday I went through this. Like, it's like we hear so many things that all we want is for them to step out of there, like, happy. For me, like, I personally, before they step out of my chair, like, I ask them, is there anything else that you want me to do? Is there, like, something that you didn't like that you want me to fix? Or, you know, like, it's very important because they're also trusting you. So, in my opinion, I feel like we're all wanting the same goal, you know? Like, we all want them to, like, oh my God, I went to go get this. It's the beauty industry. Like, I want to feel beautiful for whatever service it is that anybody could be providing, you know?
Obviamente es hacerlas sentir bellas y que se ven mejor de lo que se veían cuando entraron, pero yo creo que también va por el hecho de, me gusta que mis clientas, tanto mis clientes como la gente que trabaja en el salón, que sientan que les inspiré algo. Por ejemplo, una cliente el fin de semana de que es que no sé qué hacer, estoy aburrida, y yo de que, a ver, tú eres buena en esto, en esto, en esto, yo creo que puedes aplicar este tipo de trabajo, yo creo que, o sea, como que impulsarlas a ser mejor persona, mejor como mujer, impulsarlas a crecer. Y me gusta inspirar a mi equipo y me gusta inspirar a mis clientas. Entonces, como que salgan y sientan que pueden hacer más, que pueden salir adelante, que no solo es que se sientan bonitas, sino también empoderarlas a más, a crecer.
Ok, y con ese mismo tema, o sea, ya basándonos en que ustedes dos, you both want to give the experience to your clients of making them feel beautiful and empower them, even your staff. What happens when you get a client that's not happy with the results, either yours or your teams or your entrepreneurs that you support? How do you manage that? No me siento bonita hoy. Or I did not feel what you told me I was going to feel. And how do you retain that client to keep coming back to you, even after a not so good experience? And I'm not sure if you had those, or if you have had happen that
Claro.
I did not like it, or I did not feel, what I was supposed to feel, or what you told me I was going to feel. So how do you manage that not so happy client?
Honestidad y transparencia. O sea, transparencia de que, ok, ¿por qué no te sientes bien? ¿Porque yo hice algo mal o porque tú no te sientes bien? Entonces, también ahí yo tengo mis clientas 4 horas conmigo. Entonces, en esas 4 horas como que sí trato de entender a la clienta, pero yo también ir platicando con ella de que, oye, esto no es posible porque lo que me estás pidiendo pues no va contigo, pero ¿qué te parece? O sea, en esas 4 horas yo también las estoy preparando para lo que va a pasar, ya sea que sí van a obtener los resultados que no quieren, o sabes que no lo podemos lograr hoy, pero se te ve bonito porque ta. Pero es difícil, pero yo creo que sí es transparencia, honestidad y hablar las cosas. Y también obviamente reconocer que a veces nosotros nos podemos equivocar y tratar de arreglarlo.
I feel like it's very different. Like for a hairstylist, you're doing a service that they're gonna keep for months. And for me, it's like I'm making them get out of their comfort zone because they have a one-day event and they're gonna wash it off at the end of the night, right? But people are not used to seeing them like that. So I'm already in my mind preparing myself. They're gonna get home, the husband's gonna be like, oh my God, that's too much makeup. What did you do? And then I'm expecting that message. So whenever it comes to makeup, it's more like expect the worst. Expect the worst, because if you're not expecting it, whenever you do get it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, and you're gonna kill your mind over it. Like it's very different, like for you, you're trying to make them feel nice every single day. And for me, it's like, they're getting out of their comfort zone. It's like a whole glamorous dress, and so it's like a whole change in their face, a whole change in their hair, and we expect it. We really do expect it, but you need to have the courage to say, you know what, it's just a one-day thing, like we need to prepare you. Also, how she said, you have to mentally prepare them as they're in your chair, but sometimes they get home and that's where everything changes.
And how do you manage that? I mean, when they get home and they tell you, Jennifer, no, or my husband told me to go back, or
honestly, throughout the time,
how do you manage those situations? Do you guys usually say, come back? Or, I mean, what are some of those experiences that you both have when you get home? Because I think sometimes when you're there and you see it, you're like, okay, this is great, I love it. And then when you get home and you see it in a different light or a different angle, you're like, I know, or whatever. How do you manage that reaction from the client after the fact, in both situations?
I personally have to accept it, because there's no going back. They're not going to come back. They were running on a time limit. Like, they're not going to come back. You just need to accept it and eat it up, because as much as I would want for them to be, I could tell them, like, oh, come over here, and then they always end up telling me like, oh, it's because I only have 30 minutes and I'm not going to be able to, like, I'm sorry, like at the end of the day, my goal is before they leave the chair, I ask them all these questions where, like, I'm reassuring them that, you're letting me know that it looks nice, so then okay, but in my industry, in my category of the whole makeup and stuff, we need to ignore and accept it. There's no other way.
Yo sí, o sea, sí, es que son muy diferentes porque en el caso de Jen es maquillaje, entonces son cosas de que capaz me caso en 2 horas, o sea, ¿qué vas a hacer? Le vas a decir, regresa y ya va a estar en sesión de fotos. Y en mi caso, pues, es cabello, entonces sí se les da la oportunidad. Obviamente también yo soy el que les seco el cabello, les enseño, les platico, y ya ellas ahí mismo en la silla me dicen si se sienten cómodas o no. La verdad siempre me dicen, porque sí les digo, me tienes que decir ahorita para arreglarlo ahorita, no mañana, no pasado. Y también ha pasado que han tenido que regresar, pero pues ahí es tratar también de, no de convencer a la clienta, sino de hacerlas ver de que, como dice Jen, las estás preparando, de que es un cambio y se van a ver diferentes.
En el mismo tema de que ahora tenemos toda una serie de redes sociales que constantemente te están enseñando diferentes pues modas que existen, que sabes qué, pues ahora el pelo se usa de esta manera, o el maquillaje pues ahora lo puedes hacer así para que se te vea la cara más brillante, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Cómo tú, Sheyla, primero has tenido que, no reinventarte, pero tal vez de cierta manera reinventar muchas de esas tendencias que tú tienes para trabajar, para poder adaptarte a lo que se ve en las redes sociales y lo que te pide el cliente? Oye, ¿me puedes dejar así como ella? ¿Cómo ustedes manejan ese tipo de
Me pasa.
de tener que, o sea, totalmente están tomando certificaciones? ¿O cuál es cómo ustedes siguen el rol de las tendencias que hay hoy en día que salen a cada 5 minutos porque hay algo nuevo que alguien inventó?
Sí, bueno, la verdad sí, de educación yo creo que voy a un curso cada 2, 3 meses, pero hay tendencias que de verdad que yo soy de que yo no voy a hacer eso, yo no voy a hacer eso, yo no quiero ofrecer eso a mi clientela, entonces no. Y he tenido clientas mías que vienen y me piden esas cosas, o sea, tendencias nuevas, que si el mechoncito más grueso, que si las mechas de cebra y así, y yo soy de que, ok, a ver, espérate, hay que ser realistas. Tú nunca usarías algo así. Si quieres te doy una probadita, pero trato de hablar con ellas y ver de que qué está pasando. Todo está bien, o sea, ¿por qué quieres este cambio tan extremo? O trato de darles como que algo parecidito, pero no tan intenso, porque luego yo sé que hay veces que hay modas, y ahora sí, como dicen, la moda lo que se te acomoda, porque también no voy a hacerles, no sé, vamos a decir que el pelo verde está bien de moda. Yo no quiero ser Sheyla la que hace pelo verde. O sea, también voy a hacer lo que va con mi marca. Lo que quiero que la gente diga, ese es pelo de Sheyla. No quiero pelos verdes que digan el pelo de Sheyla.
Yes, I think being selective is a little bit like important whenever you want to put it's basically your brand. That's your brand, you're putting it out there. So you want them to see what it is that you do, how they're going to know you, like, oh, they know me for this. I do this type of hair. For makeup, I feel like when I started going to classes, I think education is very, very important. So there was always like that the liner, and now that there's no more wing, that the blending, that it's more like of a blowout now. So in the beginning, I would also take like 2 classes at least, like a year, honestly, because mom life, right? But having to like do those extra expenses also into the education, it was very, very important. As right now, I feel like makeup, like it's not that exciting because now it went backwards. Now everyone is trying to have that natural look, not so much just I want to look like I was outside in the sun and like glowy and like the blush, so it's kind of like boring right now. Where like before it would be like, I would have a quinceañera and I'm wearing a purple dress, so I want purple eyeshadow. I'm like, yes. Now it's like, she's 15, so you better do something super, super light with just a little bit of shimmer. I'm like, yes, ma'am. But I feel like, yes, in the beginning, whenever you're first starting, education is very, very important for you to take classes like once a year, or twice a year, and just go on from there, because yes, everything is always changing. Like it's constantly just changing. Social media is just like, oh my God, slow down for a little bit, please. And it just doesn't.
So with that said, talking about social media and the tendencies or the trends that are out there, how have you guys having to adapt to technology? So technology is coming in and it's coming in fast. This whole AI revolution. And I think in the beauty world, now you can, put your face in the computer and they build this makeup for you and say, okay, how have you guys, or do you plan in the near future, adapt AI to show clients what they can envision at one point on who they want to become or transform in beauty, meaning makeup and hair? About, okay, well, let me show you how you would look with this hair, instead of you trying to now explain it in a very organic and visual way without actually seeing it. Have you thought about adapting technology into your businesses to better serve the needs of the clients?
I've personally thought about it, but there's no time. I feel like there's nothing better than you actually talking to your client and like getting to understand them, because how Sheyla said earlier, like, they could show up and them already personally. It's like, you would never wear that. Why do you want that? So I feel like communication is very important. But as far as like AI, I don't understand it yet. Like, I know people were doing like the whole taking pictures, like photography and stuff. And I was like, how are y'all doing all this stuff? Like me trying to download the app, I can't, like there's only so much that you could keep up with. And I feel like I'm being really slow with that. But maybe in the near future, that's a really good idea with like taking them a picture and, you know, showing them the makeup look that they want. That would be very, very nice. But personally, as of right now, that's like a big no-no for me.
La verdad sí siento como que nos tenemos que adaptar a todo en esta vida. O sea, como por ejemplo cuando el COVID, pues obviamente no queríamos estar en nuestra casa encerrados por 4 meses, pero nos tuvimos que adaptar. Y la realidad es que ahora AI y todo eso es nuestra nueva realidad, o sea, está quitando trabajos, la verdad. Entonces, sí siento que nos tenemos que adaptar, cosa que para nuestra industria, o sea, sí es como que algo un poquito difícil. Bueno, por ejemplo, en mi caso, las clientas de repente llegan que me enseñan una foto con el pelo morado y yo, ok, el filtro de Snapchat. Pero también está padre porque les da ya una idea de que me vería bien o no me vería bien. Se me hace que no estaría mal irnos adaptando en eso. Estoy abierta, pero a intentarlo, pero pues bueno, ya iremos viendo en el futuro.
Claro, claro. And I feel that there has been a lot of, it's still early, you know, in terms of the beauty industry of what we've seen out there. But I think it's something that it's coming, and I think it's something that I think both of you are thinking about. I mean, sometimes we're not ready, and we even have entrepreneurs that are very resistant to the AI, the ChatGPT, all that world that, you know, now you don't really write yourself. You like put it into a system and it takes out all these beautiful words. But it still has to be your essence.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to be you. So
Sí.
adapting technology to what you want, to what that, you know, that mission is for your business, I think it's important, and you cannot lose yourself in technology either. So, I mean, I think it's something that eventually is going to come to all our lives, but it's how you manage it, what makes it or not makes it successful for you both. So, I still love the fact that you are very open about it and say, hey, I would love to, not yet, I'm not ready, but I will get ready.
If we have to, we have
I
to,
will
but
adapt.
we don't want to.
So I want to leave some time for questions from our audience, but before we kind of take it out there, I want to talk to you, or I want you to tell me a little bit about what would you do if you had somebody in front of you, you know, and I know, Jennifer, you might have that conversation more often than don't, but if somebody that you don't know, somebody that, you know, it might be in this audience and say, I want to have something like what you have. I want to be somebody like you know. What is that one takeaway that you will give anybody that's in front of you and I said, I would like to be a beauty founder. I would like to have a business one day like yours. What is it that you will tell that person in front of you?
¿Empiezas?
Okay. I'm more of a tough love girl. So like people have asked me that and I tell them then do it. Like go for it, stop thinking about it. I didn't think about it. Like it's just life will take you. Like if you're in this boat, you're in the ocean and you're just flowing through life. If it already went through here, do it, make that jump. Like stop thinking so much, you know? I feel like our brain could be our worst enemy, that sometimes we need to turn it off, you know? Like if you already want to do something, just make that step. But I personally just tell them to go for it.
Sí, yo igual, o sea, hazlo. ¿Qué excusa tienes? ¿Qué? Hazlo, ve y hazlo. ¿Te van a decir que no? El no ya lo tienes. O sea, todos los días se me hace que hay que salir, ahora sí, como va la frase, a corretear la chuleta. O sea, hay que intentarlo, hay que ir a tocar puertas, hay que ir a hacerlo. O lo vas a hacer mal al principio, obviamente. Nadie va a confiar en ti. Vas a tener que quemarle el pelo a tus amigas, pero vas a tener que hacerle el maquillaje feo a tu mamá. O sea, pero tienes que hacerlo, tienes que intentarlo. Ejemplo, cuando yo iba en la escuela, yo quería aprender cabello, pero nadie confiaba en mí. Le dije a una amiga, oye, házmelo, yo te lo hago. Al mes, las dos con el cabello pelón. pero hay que hacerlo, porque si no lo haces, no lo vas a lograr. Se te quita el miedo, eso no te va a llevar a ningún lado.
Me encanta la honestidad y la transparencia de nuestras fundadoras aquí, que les dice, hazlo, porque pues, deja de estar ahí con taradeces, literal, sí. ¿Verdad? Pues muchísimas felicidades. Vamos a abrir, we're going to open the, questions. Am I on time? Okay. We're going to open to some questions from the audience. Does anybody have any question for our founders? I want them to engage with you directly.
when you could barely walk. Like when your time is already being consumed so much by like everything that you have to do, it's where you have to make that step back and see the reality and just be like, you know what, I think it's time. For me personally, I feel like how I've said it, like, you know, I think it's just this little boat and I'm like floating through life. And, you know, when I opened up my suites, it was an opportunity that was offered to me. You know, I had the owner of the plaza where I'm at, I love her. She would walk into my salon and be like, oh my God, like, how can you even walk through here? It was like people in and out, like different rooms, different employees. I had sets of 2. Everyone was partnered up with somebody and it was just in, out, in, out, in, out. And she's like, I see a lot of people just parking, going up there, coming back down and just, you know, like seeing them in the cameras, in and out, in and out. And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, let's sit down, you know, let's talk. And I kind of want to give you an idea, you know, and I know we said our story in the beginning about how we started. Mine's a long journey, like I will not finish, but I started in a small little room. Like it was a small little suite. Now I met you throughout that time, yes. So it was a small little room and I would have people also coming in and out. It was just a small little sofa, vanity, doing makeup there. And I remember that so much because in my time, there was no help. Like it was all these OGs, you know, in salons where it was tougher and to promote yourself. Also, my husband here would go with me to houses to drop off flyers in the mailboxes. Yes, like we would go to the mailboxes and drop off flyers, me promoting, like, yo me la creía, como dice Sheyla. Like I thought I was like this big thing, right? So I would make little flyers with like brides and quinceañeras, and I would say that I was a specialist in that, and like all these things, you know, that guide you into where you are today. So whenever I was talking to her, and she's like, I like the concept that you have of like everyone having their own little room. Would you like to do anything else? Because I want to help you. And I was like, God, what is this? Like, are you serious right now? So I got that image in my head, and I'm like, little Jen would want to help other girls because I didn't get that help. I had to bust my ass off to be where I am today. And social media wasn't that much of a big deal, but I would do little lives. And it was barely starting, kind of like the AI situation. I was kind of like, yes, no, yes, no. And at the end, I was like, oh, let's just do this. And so she came to me and she was like, I have this empty space and I want it to be for you. And I was like, oh my God. So I feel like sometimes God places people in your life because you can't see it. I couldn't see it. I was just working and working and working. I was like this robot that was like, I have a client, you know, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I'm out by 5, the kids, you know, like, so it's just like life is just flowing by until someone comes in and is like, you know, like, hello, like, can you not see this? You know, like, make that jump, like, go for it. Like, so sometimes when you're there, some people get stuck there until somebody comes in and they're like, they have to push you off the hill, literally.
Creo que, bueno, Jen ya ahorita llevo años conociéndola, entonces ya ahorita ya está ya. Pero, ya está ya. Yo voy empezando. Tenemos 6 meses con MÜSE y hasta ahora está muy bien, gracias a Dios. Ya están todas las sillas rentadas, ya estamos a full capacity, entonces ya estoy viendo, ya estamos en full capacity, entonces estoy de que, okay, so what's next? And someone there gave me really good ideas last month. Y de hecho, ¿qué? ¿Cuál era la pregunta? Sorry.
De expansión.
Ah, sí, me distraje. Y justo yo estaba en el otro salón y yo tenía una silla, tenía otra silla. Ya había rentado todo y yo de que, ok, pues ya no quepo aquí, mi equipo ya está lleno, ya tienen agenda llena, yo ya tengo agenda llena. Creo que nos está yendo muy bien. Ya eso es señal de algo más. O sea, estoy muy cómoda. Estoy muy cómoda de que ya debo dar lo siguiente. Cosa que ahorita ya me está pasando otra vez con MÜSE. Ok, ya estoy muy cómoda, ya tenemos agenda llena, casa llena. What's next? Entonces, siento que es cuando ya, así como dice Jen, ya estás muy cómoda, todo está muy bien. Entonces viene alguien y pum. ¿Qué sigue? What's next? De que no te puedes quedar igual. Y justo ahorita también estoy en esa etapa.
Y siento que esa es la mentalidad de un emprendedor. O sea, si todos los que han tomado nuestros cursos saben, un emprendedor nunca para de estar innovando o pensando en la siguiente idea, porque es parte de lo que tú eres. Eres una emprendedora y un emprendedor o emprendedora siempre está pensando, ¿qué más voy a hacer? ¿Cuál es el siguiente proyecto? ¿Cuál es la siguiente idea? ¿Se puede o no se puede? Pero nunca dejas de estar pensando, porque todo negocio madura. Todo negocio va a llegar a un punto de que está madurando y empieza a declinar de una manera. Si no innovas, o sea, caes.
Sí.
Entonces, felicidades a las dos que han estado pensando, que tienen esa mentalidad de siempre estar innovando, más que nada. Any other questions? Over here? Right there first.
So going for your business card for staffing, let's say one of your staff wants to scale out, use some part of the business, like for you or do you want a percentage of the business so they can be a part of it?
It's for her or for me? Okay.
I don't have staff. It's more rental, yeah, so everyone has, I don't take percentages out of like what they make. It's more like a set price, and they just go on and they set goals for themselves, you know, like I want them to grow. So at the end of the day, like I'm not seeing it like in the money wise, like, oh, give me off of like what you made, your commission, whatever, like it's more, it's a rental. Well, there's a rent that's paying that rent. So like everyone pays their own. So I have the rent with the owner of the plaza, and then they give off their rent, but there's 10 suites in there. So off of those 10 suites, I already make the rent with 4 of the suites, and everything else is already profit. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry?
They want to invest. If somebody came up to you and say, hey, I want to invest in your business, I want to help you and support you and invest in your business because I see that it's successful and I might, gain from investing. Do you have like a model to where investor, if you invest in my business, I will give you 5% or something like that?
I've never thought about that. That's a good question.
Yeah.
But it's something to think about. You opened my mind.
Hola otra vez. El mes pasado que vine, él me hizo muchas preguntas, pero preguntas que de verdad me abrieron mi mente y fue lo mismo de cómo genera dinero MÜSE y así. Y ya hemos hecho unos cambios, por cierto, gracias a sus consejos. Ya, por ejemplo, les contexto. Yo tengo un staff, somos 1, 2, 3, somos 9 chicas en total, 5 están bajo renta, me rentan igual que Jen, y 4 son staff y estamos a 50% de comisión, porque lo que yo comentaba la vez pasada es que, pues gracias a Dios ya tengo una agenda llena, pero ¿qué más puedo hacer? ¿Qué más puedo ofrecer? Estoy ofreciendo oportunidades de trabajo, ya empezó alguien con nosotros, que viene de la escuela de cosmetología, aquí está mi maestra, y fui a la escuela a buscar a alguien que me ayudara, y ya empezaron, y ya están empezando a generar, o sea, a tener citas para generar más ingresos al negocio, porque pues solo hay 24 horas del día, uno solo puede trabajar ciertas horas, somos mamás, entonces, ¿qué más podemos hacer para generar más dinero? Que pues a fin de cuentas es la meta, ¿no? Sin nosotros tener que estar ahí para poder confiarle el negocio a alguien más, y pues obviamente es educándolos, y ahorita los estamos educando bajo el concepto de MÜSE, con mis técnicas para que la gente empiece a confiar en ellos. Así es.
So I'm gonna ask the question so everybody can hear. What is the best marketing strategy for somebody that is trying to start a business, in the beauty industry here in Brownsville?
I would say anything, just don't give up on it. In the beginning, it could be like, oh, nobody's looking at my stuff. I'm not getting likes. I'm not getting shares. But at the end of the day, the people are looking. People are always looking. When I first started posting my work, I got in this concept from like, oh, it's my personal stuff, into like, oh, now I want to make it into a professional line, So I started posting my work, and I would only get 3 likes, 2 likes, 1 like, but I was getting clients. So I was like, I must be doing something right. And it's that one thing that we always miss. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. We're being consistent. We're just posting. You need to see it more like it's your portfolio. So whenever a client comes to you, you'll be like, oh, look, this is my work. Go through it. Like don't think about it I want to get likes, oh, I want to be seen, oh, I want to be known. It's more like that's your portfolio. And whenever you start changing your mindset into that, like, this is my work, I feel like everything just changes and you start attracting that, you know, like you start getting those people because they see that you're being consistent. They're starting to see how you're getting better and all that stuff. So I would say just don't give up. Choose one thing and just don't give up until you're there.
Yes, the same. Just keep posting. I remember I would post, and now I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh my God, that was an ugly balayage. But people trusted me. I would get 2 clients. I would be in cosmetology school, and I had clients coming into the school to get balayages with me. How? I don't know. I don't know. But I would still get clients, and maybe the post on Facebook had like 1 like, 2 likes. And I remember telling someone like, I don't want to post anymore. I don't even get likes. Yes, but you have clients. You still get clients. Just keep posting. Just wait 6 months. That's my advice. Just wait 6 months. Keeping consistent. Marketing, social media right now is the best. So just keep posting. Don't give up. And you'll see the change you're going to make in 6 months.
I have a partner, Nelson, over there. He's the marketing director for Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation. And I remember one time he saw, we had a program, and they told, we didn't have the best comments. Sometimes it happens in our world.
It happens.
And he told me, goes, Linda, don't worry. Even bad comments are good comments.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yes.
that means they're looking at it. They actually had an opinion about something. So even when we get bad comments, we're like, wait, they looked at it. They
There's
had an
no
opinion.
bad
So
marketing.
That always kept with me. Nelson, I never told you that. But it always kept with me because, yeah, you're right. That means it's important to somebody to even have an opinion about it. So I think, like you ladies, it's like no likes doesn't mean that nobody's looking at it. Somebody looked at it. They didn't like it, but they looked at it. So, that makes a difference. I think there's a question right here.
Yeah, good question for you guys. So we understand you guys are building a brand for yourselves, right? Correct? So what distinguishes your brand from other brands locally? And if you could do anything different, what would it be? And that too, do you guys have any plans to grow your brand? To answer this question, you're creating a brand for yourself, luxury beauty suites, DLUX Workspaces. Is there anything specific that is helping your brand grow, which is decoration, might be the type of technology you're bringing to your business? What makes you different from other work areas and you as well? What makes you different from other hairstylists? What do you think is your qualities in your brand?
So basically, what is your competitive advantage? Because like he mentioned, you are totally correct. You're all both building a brand. So a brand is basically you can provide all the services you want. At the end of the day, they're going to remember your name. They're going to remember your business name. So what makes you unique from the competition?
Yo creo que es la pasión que le pones a todo, las ganas, o sea, la gente sabe si te gusta lo que haces, si de verdad vas todos los días al trabajo feliz. Oye, qué flojera ir al trabajo de mal humor todos los días. Los clientes se van a dar cuenta y simplemente yo creo que es el amor que le pones a las cosas que haces y hacer todo con pasión, o sea, porque de esa manera le demuestras al cliente que en realidad, oye, y siempre va a haber alguien mejor que uno. Es la realidad. Siempre va a haber alguien que hace el mejor el cabello que yo, alguien que hace el mejor maquillaje. O sea, no somos, bueno, sí, a lo mejor soy la mejor. Pero a lo que voy es que hay competencia. Competencia va a haber, pero es el hecho de tú creértela y tú hacer lo más que puedas como persona que hagas que sobresalgas.
I want to say I live with him. He's a little tough on me.
Are you asking those questions?
But this is where, off of the whole question that he did, it's very important to select who you're going to live with and who you want to marry, because at the end of the day, like how I mentioned earlier, we would both go to mailboxes and drop off flyers, and he's supported me since day one. When he met me, I started by myself, and it was very tough, and I always had the drill in my hand, trying to fix things in the studio that I had, and then here he comes, like, what are you doing? Like, let me help you out, and he stuck along ever since. But I personally feel that whenever I first opened up the suites, and he knows this, we would travel a lot. We had our baby, and then we told ourselves, let's give ourselves some years to, enjoy and travel around and stuff. And I would tell him, like, I really like the lobbies. Like, I love the lobbies. You know, we would go to, our families are from Monterrey, so we would go to Monterrey, and we would go to, like, a lot of hotels, and I'd be like, I love that color, I love this, I love that. And he's like, why don't you do something different in Brownsville like this, you know? So for me, like, I feel like every time I travel, like, it's not just something to, like, oh, the experience, but I always want to bring something back home where I'm like, I saw this over here and this is why it's here now. Or, you know, like, I have a lash tech in my suites that's renting, and we're always talk about, you know, we try to keep ourselves motivated and stuff. And I got my lashes done like 2 days ago, and she's like, why did you choose blue? Like, where did royal blue come from? And I'm like, well, first of all, it's a September stone, and I'm, you know, my birthday. Like, you also need to add things from your heart. You know, what makes you different? What makes your business different? Well, you are the creator of your brand. So what does your business have that brings your heart into it? You know, and I feel like that's how you never stop loving it. Every time you walk in, you're like, oh my God, I love this. Like, I chose this, I brought this from here, and I created this, and I had the purpose for this. You know, like, there's always something in back of your head where you're like, I genuinely love this. And that's my answer. I'm not. Not yet.
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Yeah.
And that's something very important.
Oh, yeah.
So I think another thing, in addition to all the comments, is trust. I think that it's a competitive advantage in the beauty world, because the client has to trust you. I mean, they're giving you the trust of doing your hair, doing your makeup, you know, the experience, you know, like you say, you see unique places throughout, and maybe your unique competitive advantage is the space that you provide to, you know, your entrepreneurs. And then this is what I'm able to offer you that's different from the experience of another maybe place. Make it in your own, make it your style. You know, a lot of it, it's about customer service, but I think it's all about trust, because they keep coming back because they trust you, and they trust that you're going to do your best. And I think that's very important in the beauty world when it comes to building clients, to building a brand, and to building, you know, longevity in what you guys do. So with that said, I want to thank our panelists for being here today. Thank you, ladies. You are inspiring. You know, very young, but very inspiring. And that's so important, because there's no age to be an entrepreneur. There's no age to grow. There's no age to have that one win that's going to make you, you know, conquer what you guys want to conquer in the business world, and in the same, enjoy it, because I think you guys, when you talk with passion. And that's very important. This is what you're meant to be and meant to do. So congratulations to both of you. Wishing you all the success in the world. We are here to support you. eBridge is here to provide any support that you need, any platform that you ever want to come. This is your home. Please take advantage of it. And I just want to, you know, give them a round of applause, please, for the phenomenal work that they do. Thank you for being part of Global Entrepreneurship Week, and for allowing us to showcase how important the beauty industry is in the region, in the state, in the nation, in the world. So thank you, ladies. Have a phenomenal day. Thank you guys for being here today. We appreciate it. Keep joining us the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we aren't far though. We have a vision board over there, but we have open house here every single day. BCIC, our partners, our buddies, our besties, our roommates are gonna have, you know, coffee and pan dulce. You know, we're gonna be here all week. On Wednesday, we come back to Brownsville. We're gonna have 1 million cups with our mayors from Harlingen, Mayor Norma Sepulveda, and Mayor of Brownsville, John Cowell, will be here. They're gonna talk about their story, and then we're gonna have a pop-up series. We're gonna have around 16 businesses here throughout eBridge, you know, showcasing their products and services. Come and join us from 3 to 7. And on Thursday, we have Noche de Despecho. It's about you singing it out, entrepreneurs. Let us hear you, your frustrations, your at Quisquero, which is a bar. So join us over there. It's going to be fun. You're going to be able to sing and let it all out. It's not about, it's not about women. And, it's like, we hate you, men. It's about we're business owners and we deal with this every single day. So come and sing it out with us. And join us all week. On Friday, we have our Kaufman. Whoever graduated from the Kaufman program, you're invited back. We're going to talk to you, and you're going to talk to us about what you need and what other ways can we support you. So we are here all week. Thank you, ladies, so much. You all are awesome. I love you guys, and we'll see you soon.